Have you ever met somebody that seems really cool at first, but then after you meet their friends, you really start second guessing things? Have you paid attention to who Drake's biggest cheerleaders are? I'm not talking about the people that casually enjoy Drake, like what you like. I'm talking about his loudest, most obnoxious supporters. Drake's been doing a good job damaging his image all on his own, but I don't see how he doesn't realize that his fan club is doing way more damage than this could ever do. Hey, I'm Camille. Welcome to my channel, The Confused Playlist, where I get to talk about anything music related that I feel like talking about. Today, we're going to get into how Drake's biggest cheerleaders are actually hurting his brand as much as he is, and if there's anything he can do to fix it. I think I have a unique perspective on this because before the great rap civil war of 24, I didn't really keep up with the personal lives of Drake or Kendrick. I'm not out here chasing gossip. If anything, the algorithm just kind of throws shit at me. Of course, I knew the big stuff like Drake having his secret kid or Kendrick's long list of achievements. But before the beef, I couldn't tell you who the hell Whitney was or how many kids they have together. I always knew that Drake was a cornball, but I didn't know his parents' names or that his baby mama is a corn star, because honestly, I didn't care. But as soon as Euphoria dropped last year and Drake got exposed, I have been fascinated ever since. Another big thing that happened after the beef started is my algorithm changed, and I got introduced to a cast of characters I had never really heard of before. We have Top 5. He's Drake's shooter, and why do I know that he's willing to commit for Drake if he just says the word? Because he said so on the World Wide Web.
Kendrick Lamar.
You're scared of Kendrick?
Tell him come to town. Swiss cheese.
What happened if he comes to Toronto?
I'll get the low, put on my Nike Tech Black. So why'd you get us a driver? Put the window down, it is what it is. Get some fresh air.
He is the definition of a crash test dummy, yet Drake pays his lawyer bills, buys him expensive gifts, and he's willing to take him out in public and be seen together at basketball games and stuff. Aden Ross, a MAGA kid who sniffed Andrew Tate's chair.
You know, I have work to do. I'm done. I fixed you.
Now, Drake went on Aden Ross's stream for Christmas time to do this giveaway where he gave out all kinds of prizes and money and all this shit. It was one of two appearances that Drake did after the beef. And he could have chosen any streamer that he wanted to. Anybody would have been happy to have him on, but he chose Aden Ross's MAGA red pill loving crowd to do this with for Christmas. We have this XQC guy that looks like a legit Targaryen bastard, doesn't he? Drake went on his stream to announce to the world that he's going to be running to the other side of the planet during the Super Bowl. Again, Drake could go with any streamer in the world that he wanted to announce this, but he went with the guy that doesn't even know his music.
Man, I'm not making a fool of myself. It's headlines. Jade.
Close.
But that's not good, no? Yes. No, it's
okay.
No, it's not, but it's okay.
Since the beef, Drake has only stepped out to talk to his fans directly 2 times, and he chose Joffrey Targaryen and Aden Ross, a dude that got banned so hard from streaming that other streamers get banned just for talking to him. Those were the fans or the audiences that Drake chose to communicate with directly. Now, I understand that Drake has this deal with Stake, and those appearances probably were part of his contract or whatever, but here's the thing. Drake's already fucking rich. Think about it. You out there, raise your hand if you hate your fucking job. Most people hate their fucking job, but they do it because we gotta keep food on the table. Speaking of job, you know what? I'm going to slip a shameless plug in here for myself. I am a very, very small channel, and I am trying to actually make this my job. I spent 20 years in the military, and now I want to sit in my house in my pajamas and make YouTube videos. Problem is, I don't have enough subscribers. Until I get 1,000 people to hit that stupid little button, I'm not going to get paid for shit. Now, if you can't commit to subscribing, which I understand because I'm a little bit of a commitment phobe, even though subscribing is free, you could hit the like button. I'm only taking the time to stress this because I don't think people understand how much that one little thing helps small channels like mine. People that have a million zillion subscribers, they don't need you to hit the like button because their videos are going to get recommended to everybody any damn way. Small channels like this, you hit the like button and it tells the algorithm to show this video to more people. So that is my shameless plug to myself. If you haven't done your good deed for the day, help a sister out, and at a minimum, please, pretty please with sugar on top, hit the like button. Please and thank you. Now back to what I was saying. Some people are lucky enough to have a job that they really enjoy, but most people, at least at one point in time in their life, have had a job that they completely hated, but we did it because we had to. Drake doesn't have to be associated with steak. He didn't have to appear on those two streams if he didn't want to. If he really didn't want to have to be associated with those guys, he could have told Steak to fuck off. I mean, we are talking about a man that currently has a lawsuit against his own damn label for defamation. If he wanted to get out of that Steak shit, he could get out of it, but he chooses to be associated with it. Like I said, he's rich. He doesn't need that money. The next person in the Drake fan club is OVO Mall, who only knows how to speak via temper tantrum.
Help each and every one of these niggas. You would have never knew who the fuck the Migos was if Drake didn't remix Versace. What? No!
Drake could literally go and kill Maul's dog, and I think that Maul would be more upset if Drake chipped a nail when he pulled the trigger. Now, before we get to the founder and president of the Drake fan club, I do have a few notable mentions that I want to bring up. Remember when Drake leaked that video of him diddling himself? PlaqueboyMax is somebody who eventually came up on my algorithm, and he's a big fan of Drake. I want you to hear what he had to say when he saw that video.
Yeah, I can't stop smiling. Last night, I laid eyes on the Fat D. After what happened last night, Drake is the greatest rapper ever. No one can ever be greater than this nigga. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I ain't swipe out. No cap. I did it. This is Drake we're talking about. So I saw that jerking the schlong. I saw him being it. All I could do was smile. He did it with such effort, such bravery, such courage. Like, I was just astonished. I was like, there's just no way.
Now, this may be hard to believe, but I was once a teenage girl. I know how insane teenage girl crushes can be. Now, I admittedly was madly in love with Tupac. I had his posters all over my wall. I wanted to marry him, but I never said no shit like that. That is a level of parasocial that I never experienced. If you ever get a chance to see this video, it is wild. I could not count the number of times that he referred to Drake as his sixth god and his goat. Oh my God, I can't believe that is my goat. After analyzing Drake's dick close enough to critique its girth. It's truly disturbing. Now, it's one thing to feel a particular way when he saw the video, but that's something that like you keep to yourself or maybe tell some of your close personal friends. But he didn't do that. This little boy went on stream because he needed to tell the world how he felt about Drake's dick. He needed people to know this because Drake is his GOAT. I've never been a fan of anything that much, and I never, ever want to be. We also have Andrew Shultz. Andrew got upset at a line that Kendrick said, I believe it was Whacked Out Murals, where he was standing up for black women. He was basically telling other black men that it's not okay to sit there and let a white man or anybody else disrespect black women and make jokes of black women while you sit up there and laugh along with them. As a black woman, I don't like being the butt of jokes, and I really appreciate that he did that. And I hope that it put in more, black men's minds that if people are talking disrespectful about black women around you, that you ain't gonna sit there and laugh with their ass. How are other people gonna respect us if you don't? Anyway, Shultz was so butthurt about this, he started talking about hurting Kendrick in the butt.
I would make love to him, and the only thing that he could do is decide if it's consensual or not. That's the only thing he could do.
Andrew Shultz has a weird case and is very vocal about being a Drake fan. Last but not least, we have DJ Akademiks. I had heard of DJ Akademiks from before the beef. However, I never really watched any of his stuff. Now, I learned through the beef, turns out he's the guy that speaks for Drake. Apparently, whenever Drake wants the world to know something, he tells Ak, and Ak goes and tells the world. I can't think of how many things that I've heard about how Drake is feeling or how he's thinking or what he's going through that didn't come from Drake. It all came from Ak. Now, if you're not familiar with who Akademiks is, he's a proud alcoholic with assault charges who assaults women in 4K. And he recently got exposed for being inappropriate with a young boy online. Here's a little sample.
What the fuck is he talking about? What the fuck is this nigga talking about? I was vibing. Drizzy responded. I'm cooling. Having a good time. I was about to go get that Henny.
That guy is the very public founder, president, CEO, CFO, secretary. He is the official Drake fan club. He speaks for Drake. There aren't any celebrities, no industry peers. There doesn't even seem to be like a legitimate PR firm or management team or anything trying to manage Drake's career right now. Instead, it's all those guys representing him. Let me ask you a question. Think of any woman in your life that you care about. Sister, friend, cousin, coworker. Imagine she comes to you one day and she introduces any one of those guys that I just mentioned as her new boyfriend. How you gonna feel about that? I have seen with my own eyes that Akademiks is an alcoholic, that he's abusive, and that he talks freaky to little boys. If my little sister came in and she was actually wanting to be with Akademiks, I think Ak might have to die. He would not experience one day of peace in his life until he left my little sister the fuck alone. And I would feel that way about any of those guys. I'm not on Twitter that much. I check in here and there. But after Drake's new album, Some Sexy Songs for You, dropped, Drake fans came out of the damn woodworks on social media. One of the first things that I saw was them pushing the same tired ass narrative that Drake makes music for the ladies. Now, I admit I'm a little old and out of touch with what young ladies are feeling these days, so I was genuinely curious to see what some ladies had to say about it. And you know what? It was hard to find any. It was like for every 50 men loudly defending Drake, I'd find one woman saying something positive. And even then, they used avatars and didn't have any real photos. And it made me wonder if they were real, because there is a whole sect of guys out there who pretend to be women online because women get more attention. So people don't have pictures, you know what I'm saying? Now, when that album came out and I got to see who his hardcore fans were, it hit me. When it comes to his image or his brand, if you will, Drake is the Pied Piper of the incels. Now, I'm not saying that all of his fans are incels. There's some logical people out there, but there's a very loud and noticeable chunk of his fan base that fits that description. If you're a rational person that likes Drake's music, these people should piss you off because they're louder than you and they're making you all look crazy. And yes, before anybody says anything, I do acknowledge that there are crazy Kendrick fans out there on social media, but this is the thing. This isn't about Kendrick. People love to do that what about shit to get people off topic, but we're staying on topic. This video is about Drake. Now, with the exception of XQC, because I don't really know anything about him, most of the guys that I talked about, if you just do a quick little Google search, you'll see that they are actually terrible people with weird cases. The way I see it is if I'm enjoying the same things as that group of individuals, I'm doing something really, really wrong with my life. But that's just me. Like what you like. I am a person who just a year ago had no real strong feelings about Drake one way or the other, to being somebody that's calling him the Pied Piper of the incels. For me, his image, his brand, it's done. Once I see something, I can't unsee it. So I don't think that I could ever overlook all the things that have happened over the past year and actually have any respect for his music. This actually leads me to the next thing that I want to talk about. I want to throw a scenario at you. We all know that Drake doesn't seem to have very good people around him and that he needs better people. So let's say somebody came to you and they said, we want to hire you to rehabilitate Drake's image. You're his new PR person, and if you can help him get at least 25% of the fans back that he lost throughout the beef over the next 2 years, if you're successful at that, we'll give you a $10 million bonus. You don't have to like Drake. You just have to convince 25% of his ex-fans to give him another chance by 2027, and you'll get $10 million. What do you do? Well, I've always worked around a lot of men my whole life, and I have known some low down, dirty dogs that would play with women like literal toys. I've also seen those same low down, dirty dogs do a complete 180 and become a completely different man. And there's a very small list of things that can bring about that kind of change in a man's life. If this were Family Feud, the top answer would be a woman. Y'all know the type of guy I'm talking about. He's attractive. He's got it going on. He's living that I got hoes in different area codes lifestyle until one day he meets one that actually makes him happy. He meets the one that starts making him see the world a little different. Now, if I were Drake's PR person, I would tell him to go find a very fancy corner and sit in it. I'd make him drop the lawsuit and I'd hide him away for at least a year. And while he's sitting in his fancy little corner, the only thing that I need him to do is find a girlfriend. I'd hide him away till about next spring. And when he starts stepping out again, I'd want the initial narrative to be around who he's dating. Once that caught a little traction, we would announce it as an official relationship. Now, once the relationship isn't new news anymore, I'd have Drake go do an interview to talk about how much things have changed for him over the past year while he's been sitting in a corner. And while he's doing this interview, he's going to be able to credit her being in his life for helping this change. You know, over the past year, I've had a lot of time to reflect, and, I was too focused on work and I was too focused on trying to be the best. I did have the wrong people around me, and I was a little lazy and uninspired. I did underestimate Kendrick, and yes, the lawsuit was stupid. But you know what? I took some time. Things have changed in my life, and I'm starting to see things differently, and I want to be better moving forward. I just want to focus on the future. Now, after that interview, I would be hoping that the narrative would become, has Drake really changed, and can he make a comeback? And once that becomes the narrative, he can start playing around with releasing music again. Now, if this sounds a little crazy to you, I've got news. Hollywood relationships have been around since the beginning of Hollywood. Say there's a major star of a network and he's starting to be seen around being a little too close with his guy friends, and maybe people are starting to gossip. You know what they would do? They would find the most beautiful up and coming starlet in Hollywood, and they would orchestrate this whirlwind romance, and they'd have them get married and have kids. And then guess what? All those pesky rumors about him hanging out with his boys, they all go away because, see, he's married now. Hollywood's been using orchestrated relationships to help fix somebody's image since the invention of famous people. I'm not saying that Drake needs to go that far and get married and start a new family, but he does need to go away for a while and come back a whole new guy, somebody that is way more humble, way more low key. The only thing that I can think of that would make this big change in his life make sense outside of maybe finding God or a health crisis is a new relationship. I'm going to be real honest with y'all. One of the main reasons that I wanted to make this video is because I want to be on record saying that I believe within the next year, Drake is going to be in a publicly committed relationship. Whether it's real or it's a Hollywood orchestrated one, it's going to happen. Now, let's just say that Drake took my advice and he went into hibernation for a while, and then he came out and he has a girlfriend and he's moving different. He's not posting dumb shit on social media. He's not wearing silly outfits. He cut ties with Steak, and now he's putting his money towards helping underprivileged kids get music instruments or something like that. He's starting to act like a normal person. You know who would absolutely hate that? His fucking fan club. What do you mean you stop drinking and gambling and you're committed to one woman? That's blasphemy. Akademiks would immediately start a smear campaign against the girl to try to break them up. Tell me I'm lying. I could see if the news came out that Drake officially has a girlfriend, I could see Akademiks and Maul literally crying themselves to sleep that night. Like, how can he do this to us? He's got to find a way where it's not those people that are his voice for him. He's got to get some better damn people. Now, I want to end this video with a clip from Curtis King.
Drake is a narcissist that makes the perfect soundtrack for narcissists, especially narcissistic men. So that's why when I heard FD Signifier say, if you like the music, you like the music. But if you really identify with the character of Drake, it's very telling. What kind of a man are you? What do you really stand on? Where does your moral compass stand on? How do you view women? How do you talk about women? Why do you think so lowly of women? Well, what is your soundtrack? You tell me your soundtrack, I'll tell you your hypnosis.
I say it all the time. I like sitting in the house. I don't be out in the streets like that. So I have a question for my single ladies out there that are looking for a boo. If you go out with a guy and he tells you he's a Drake fan, does he get a second date? Now, I'm not talking about somebody that has Drake songs on his playlist. I think all of us have Drake songs on our playlist, whether we want them there or not. Like, it's okay if he has Drake songs that he really likes. But if he tells you that he is Team Drake, what is your immediate thought about him? I know what I would think and what I would do, but I'm an asshole. So let me know down in the comments if you were on a date with a guy and he let you know that through the beef that he was Team Drake. Do you still keep kicking it with him? Also, I really genuinely want to know what you would advise Drake to do if you had $10 million on the line to rehabilitate his career. Do you have any predictions of what Drake's next big move is? Let's talk about it down in the comments. Like I said, as I was begging before, I'm a small channel and hitting that like button like really is like leaving me a $20 tip. Like legit. So if you've been rocking with me up to this point, I really appreciate you. I am almost at 500 subscribers. My goal is to get to 1,000 by the summer so I can finally get monetized. So if you like my content, maybe you're not ready to subscribe, like go check out some of my other stuff and see what I'm doing. I'm still figuring my life out, but I'm getting better. I got some Grammy reactions, Super Bowl reactions. There's going to be something that you like. Anyway, thanks for making it to the end of the video, and I hope you have a great night. Bye.